Another good morning here, Grace Performance Repair. I got both cars in here. I gotta pull them out. Obviously, the one's all covered up. Those are some of my clean rags that I keep around. I'm pretty sure nothing dripped. I don't see a single drip hanging off of it up here, and I'm pretty sure the back wasn't leaking to begin with, so that's a good thing. So I was right; the leaks have subsided. I'm going to work a little bit on this car today, but I'm probably going to primarily concentrate on the one below it. I'm waiting on some parts and confirmation on this guy. He may or may not order some parts, and if he decides not to, he'll just have me order them. I just let him know, when it comes to these performance guys, they're well aware that if I order the parts, I have to make something on them. I can't just give the parts away. My markup is a lot less than most local shops or any shops really. But I'm doing it from home. I don't need the markup. I just want to get my labor. So that's kind of why I'm able to do things the way I do. It's a little bit differently. I'm able to provide a little bit better service because of that. And because I'm on my own, the only drawback as far as service goes is my customers have to wait for me. You might be thinking there's mechanics everywhere, but it's hard to find one that can actually do good quality work and take pride in what they do. Okay, now I'm onto the seat modification. I'm going to start on the passenger side, so if the rain ever quits, I can actually still put the car outside and get to some other work that I need to do. But unfortunately the rain's not letting up, and I don't have anybody to help me put the hood on this car, so putting the cover on a hot engine probably isn't the best idea. Alright, how do we get this seat out of here? It's going to be 4 bolts. Oh, they're there. They're under the floor mat. Perfect. Nice and easy. So first things first, pull the floor mat out. Then we go to the 2 bolts in the front, slide the seat forward, which is electronic, and pull the 2 bolts out on the back. Oh, let's check what size they are. 15. Looks like a 15. Oh, there's a connector under here I gotta disconnect. Alright, so there's the seat. Passenger seat is out. Now I have to the door shut so I can move the seat. I got to remove some trim pieces, pull the carpet back, and figure out where that shark bar is supposed to attach. Well, would you look at that? I get a free smashed penny and a dime. Not that I care about a dime, but wow, that penny is really mangled. Just give that in, put it in his cup holder. It's in his car. Alright, anyway. The jaw, it's special for removing those plastic clips. Oh, there's a little bit of gook on here. I gotta take that off of here. Okay, so I gotta remove the top just to do this. Re-glue that. I hate it when these GM things come apart. So a lot of times this will happen. It's pretty common. The clips hold stronger than the glue behind them, and I'll have to re-glue that now. There's actually 2 of them that came loose. Oh yeah, no wonder. There. So I'll have to throw those back in place. I'm gonna go get some glue on them now, so I have time to cure. What actually works surprisingly good is Right Stuff RTV or Bond. You'd think like an epoxy or something, but actually RTV works pretty good if you have time to let it dry. I actually had to do the same exact thing on my door panel for a BMW I have. I'm taking you off here to show you this quick. So I had to pull that top off because I got to get this panel off. You can see there's a piece that goes right through here. So I was unable to pull that down. It's kind of nice actually anyway. Now I got more room, more headroom. So I got to pull this panel off, this guy off, which is going to be a lot easier now. And then that bar somehow goes across here. So I have to look into how exactly that works. I'm sure there's a little instruction sheet with it. But I'll get there eventually. Just gotta go at it here. You know, now that I got the top off, I might actually give you guys a better view of what's going on. So I got this package of instructions here that he printed off for me. Looks like, well, this is what it came with actually. Looks like I'm gonna have to drill some holes. Yep, there's got to be a hole that goes through this panel. There's your removing all these panels out of the way instructions. That's for the shark bar. Now as for the seats, there's those two connectors, the yellow one for the airbag and the main harness. There is, apparently you got to jump it looks like. Oh yeah, load simulation thing. So it fools it into thinking there's an airbag when there's not. That way you don't have a code. So there's that. What do we have here? We have a fancy dummy connector. There are the airbag load simulators. Here's the grommets for what looks like the shark bar. Airbag simulation plug. So this is interesting. I have to take all the guts out of the passenger seat, all the electrical guts, including the little pad that senses the passenger being in there. And I have to remove those and plug them into all the stuff that's on here. So, except for the airbag, I have a simulator for that. There's these little resistors. But the seatbelt here, it has this goofy pre-tensioner deal in here. It's a 3-wire sensor, which means it's actually a sensor, not a switch. And so I'd assume it has a 5-volt reference, a ground, and then a sense signal being there is red, black, and blue. But I noticed something, is if I pull on this, it actually separates or splits, and it feels like it's got a maybe a rubber cushion in there, some sort that absorbs, but it must have a sensor that detects how much tension is being applied, so it knows either when to deploy airbags or when to activate the seatbelt or whatever. I'm not sure what their purpose is behind that, but it's kind of cool to see. It's like a pressure sensor for how much pressure is being pulled on the seatbelt. It's too bad it's attached to here. I'm going to contact the customer and ask him. I'm hoping that he doesn't want these seatbelts anymore whatsoever, because then we can just cut this off of here and plug just the sensor in. It'd be kind of a pain in the butt if we had to leave all this mechanism in there. He's replacing this thing with a multi-point harness, and I would hate to have to tuck this thing underneath the seat or something silly. Be kind of goofy if we had to do that. So hopefully I can just cut the seatbelt up, take like this guy off, and put it back in the panel, and then take this thing off and plug it in, and not have to worry about wrapping something up goofy underneath the vehicle.
Should be protected at all costs. So when I'm stopped by a police officer, or when I am busted at a traffic stop, I can just fucking slap my arms at the cop, and it's totally fine because they're not going to do anything.
So like the presumption of
innocence, which isn't wrong necessarily, but it's the sense that like
it's wrong when it comes at police.
get away from the man for a second. Let's talk about the new community that you've been welcomed into.
Yeah.
Because now you're in the community that on the online side of it, the YouTube side of it, it's mostly the people that I love. Like this great community. And I saw you were at VidCon with a lot of these people.
Yeah. And had a great time.
And got to suddenly meet people that were your enemies in a certain respect.
I mean,
at some level.
I never saw them as my enemies. Only the ones that made really terrible videos about me.
Yeah. So
it wasn't most of them.
So let's talk about one person in particular, because I think something really beautiful happened, which is Carl Benjamin, Sargon of Akkad.
Yeah.
I had him here live the day that he went to VidCon.
Oh, yeah.
I think maybe you met him that night. And I had known that he had done some videos about you, and I said something to him off camera about something like, "Oh, are you going to see Lacey? I guess she probably doesn't like you." Something like that.
Yeah.
And he said to me, I kid you not, he was like, I don't know why she wouldn't like me. Like, it's not personal. And he really meant it. Like, I didn't sense he was like.
It is personal.
Okay, so I'm not trying to start shit because I'm really not. But
So here is what I'm putting in this car. It's a set of caribou or caribou, however they pronounce it, seats.
Shouldn't be horrible. Okay. All right. Well, order them up and then get them out. That'd be perfect.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Yeah. So I'll get that passenger side going as soon as it's available, and we're gonna have all the same features: the lumbar, the fifth slot, the shape base, and then that'll just have a return label in the box to send the old one back as soon as you get it.
Perfect. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Yeah.
So I got one quick question for you. Can you? How do you say the name of your company again?
It's Corbo.
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 Okay, so it's not like the coffee. Got it. All right. All right. Appreciate it. Well, thank you, sir.
All right, you bet.
Gotcha. Bye.
All right. Well, now that we got the correct pronunciation, got the brackets that are built and designed specifically for the Corvette. That's what the guy brought me, which is kind of nice. Means it should work out. We'll find out as soon as I try to put them in. But I wanted to show you this because this is kind of actually a pretty neat seat. So it's got one feature here, one main feature here, and it's this little deal. This is actually for a lumbar support. So if I sit and pump this guy up, it'll pop out the lumbar. Now, when I push this button, you can watch. I don't know if you can see that, but it drops down, which it's kind of cool that you can pump up the lumbar like that. I tried it and I thought, ooh, is that going to do the side bolstering like the factory seats do? No, not so much. So it's still cool though that you got that support there, and it's an airbag lumbar instead of a mechanical lumbar. The mechanical lumbar's always bothered me. I usually don't like a lumbar myself, but the mechanical ones, it seems like they're always so stiff. I'd imagine this would be a lot better because it'd have a little cushion. It'd not be so stiff. So I suppose that's needed. Those seats are pretty thin. Here is where I'm at so far. I have to pull out the diagram here. I don't know if these things go this way or this way, but I assume they go this way. I'm gonna grab the diagram and make sure I got that right. I got the shark bar in without the panels cut yet. So here is, I'll change my light. There we go. Here is the shark bar installed. Just use the factory bolts. I'm not a fan of this one. I might see if I can find something different. We'll see. It's got like a shoulder on it and makes it sit out funny. But regardless, that is the shark bar. All the bolts are tight. It's bolted onto this piece of tin, which is then bolted onto the seatbelt retractor bolt and the seatbelt shoulder strap holder, I guess you could call it, part of it, and it goes across into the other side and bolts up the same way. Now I have to take those two panels there, those, you know, the hole there, speaker hole there, there's a speaker for the speaker hole. I have to take those two panels, and there is a template that I'm going to be putting over top of it that matches to line up a few different signature things on the panel, and I have to cut a hole for where the shark bar goes through, and I'd imagine I'm also going to have to cut a slot so I can slide the plastic over that shark bar. But we'll see when I get to that point. I gotta go pull the instructions up and take a look at them. Then I got to take that hole and put this fancy rubber grommet in there, and that makes it look nice instead of looking like a jank rough cut hole. If somebody were to do a rough cut, I'm gonna be using a hole saw. I got plenty of hole saws. Yeah, that's about where I'm at right now. Here's that belt. He told me to go ahead and just cut that sensor. Where is it? That sensor off. That is actually a size sensor. I guess it determines the size of the passenger by how much tension is on this spring because of the belt pulling up on this against the passenger. So if he's a larger passenger, I guess it'll have more tension against it. Why they need that information, I mean, if the car's in a crash and airbag's going to deploy, it's not going to slow the deploying or whatever. I don't know what information they need that for, but the information is there in the computer, and that's all it's there for. So yeah, I'm gonna attach that, get all the electronics out of the old seat, get that all put into place, and then we'll move on with the rest of this project. Driver side, passenger side. So driver side goes with this one, this guy goes with the other one. I will go after the driver side first, and what I'll do to do so is I'll take and line this up with both the speaker and this hole here, and then I will tape it down and drill my hole with the hole saw. I'll just mark it, drill it. So what's more important than anything is A and B, not the speaker and seatbelt. Now the seatbelt lines up and the speaker lines up. So that's how I want to drill it. Now that there's a hole that I have no way to get a shark bar through, I gotta make a way for it to get through. I am going to check some instructions and make sure that they don't actually give me something as far as what they recommend for the way to put that. They seem to think they shoved it through without marks. How is that possible? Is that hole actually big enough? They have it bolted up in that picture without the panel. Oh, I'm gonna measure some things. I'm gonna see if it'll fit. The only picture they show is one of a final done project picture. They don't. I can't see a cut in the picture, but maybe the picture's kind of crummy. It is a small picture. I will see if I can squeeze it through there. If I can, great. If I can't, well, I guess I'll figure something out on my own and cut a damn slot in here somewhere, preferably in a non-visible area. When I set that other one in there, I looked at the size of this hole versus the shark bar. I think there is enough room to squeeze the shark bar through. They showed a picture of it bolted up, probably to show the picture of what it's like when it's bolted up. But I think I gotta take this, slide it on the shark bar, pull it back, bolt it in, and then push this panel into its place. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now, let you guys see the process of that. I'll go ahead and unbolt it, and then you'll get to see the driver's side put in. This has proven to be quite a challenge. So trying to get these panels in place, line everything up, and then get these bolts in that are also tight squeezed with these panels in the way is proving to be difficult. I'll get it, but I'm definitely gonna have to speed through that. That is quite a challenge to get those lined up. So I literally just got done reviewing video, and I pulled a bunch of stuff out of here because I couldn't find where I put the damn bolt. I lost track of it. Apparently I dropped it and just forgot that I dropped it because it was sitting in an area that would be silly for me to set it. But I found it now, so now I can continue the project. Kind of funny how you can lose things so easily without even thinking about it. So here's the bolt. Time to put it in. Might as well review a couple things quick. I had to loosen. Obviously, I took the shark bar off completely. I had no choice. But I had to loosen up the bolts that hold the bracket for the shark bar as well. I was having a hell of a time getting it to go in between them. They must have a little bit of pretension against them as far as they go against that bar. So I loosened those up. I was able to get the bar in place. Now I just gotta tighten down all the bolts, get this one in, and then tighten down all the bolts, and it'll be installed. So on these little loop things here, the holes did not line up very well. They lined up close enough that they work, but they are offset a little bit. Like this one, it's offset this direction here, and so I cut the rubber so it's kind of against it here, where the rubber isn't. The plastic is just touching this, and the rubber kind of fills in the gap so it doesn't look so bad on that side. This side, it's almost offset the other way. It's kind of going that direction, whereas the driver's side is kind of going that direction. Perhaps it's my fault. Perhaps the templates aren't perfect. I don't know. It doesn't line up perfectly, but it lines up close enough that it works. So what I do is I take this, and the spot that's contacting is just a small area, and it's a short little area. So I'm just cutting that little bit out of it, and then putting this in the rest of it. And once the seats are in, nobody will be able to really see that anyway. It won't be a very big deal, and no one will probably even notice. But obviously, I'm aware of it. Now you are too. All right. Now that that's accomplished, I suppose I should probably put the shocks back on. I got the hatch shocks off. I'll put those on, and then I'm going to move on to the seat belts and the harness mount. I guess I'll call it the thing down at the bottom of the seat. I gotta pull out the instructions, take a peek at that. I need to get some more coffee. I'm getting exhausted here. Kind of early in the morning to be getting exhausted. It's probably 11 o'clock, so close to lunch. Maybe I just need food. Anyway, I'll go ahead and get started on the rest of this project, and then get the seats in to give you guys a good little visual of what the finished product looks like. Here's the panel I had to repair. The other one did not have the problem. I popped it off easily without any trouble. So these are nice and solid now, like they should be. I'll go ahead and put this on, and then get the other paneling on, and get on those seats. I just got done hooking the electrical up to the driver's side. It's a little box that comes with this kit for doing this, more or less. And then there are, for the airbag sensors, there's these resistors that you put in place of it to fool the computer into thinking that there's an airbag installed. So you don't throw what's called squid code. Now, the passenger side, you also do those resistors, but instead of plugging in just a little box that plugs into this connector and another connector, you actually have to take this whole harness assembly out of this seat, including the bladder that senses the passenger. So that is what I'm going to tackle right now. I'm going to get all that stuff out of there, and then I'm going to go put it in the passenger side. I brought the mess of guts over here so I can plug everything in. I was looking at that seat bracket, and this is a lot of stuff to tuck under that seat. That does not look like there's very much room under that seat. So I guess we'll find out. But I'd be surprised if it fit under that seat easily. It's supposed to, but we'll see. So here's that sensor. I will find the plug for that right there. So that's plugged in. Now, they also send this guy along. So this guy is supposed to plug in here somewhere as well to fool the thing. Looks like it goes right there, the connector that I thought. But just in case, I'm gonna make sure. Okay, none of these plug into it. I'm probably going to go back there and look at what these actually connect to make sure that I don't need those for anything.
It's Corbo.
Corbo. Turbo. Okay, so it's not like the coffee. Got it. All right. All right. Appreciate it. Well, thank you, sir.
All right, you bet.
Catch it. Bye.
All right. Well, now that we got the correct pronunciation, I can finish off this video that I'm making. So here's the seats. This one actually has the buckle hooked up to it. You can see how it's sitting in there. It's actually a really nice system. In fact, the passenger side seat had a failure from out of the box. The latch for the tilt of the back of the seat has failed. And basically you latch it, you lean against it, and it falls back. We called the company, that's who we were just on the phone with, and their customer service apparently is pretty darn good. He's getting it taken care of right away. They're going to start making the seat and send it out so he can send the bad one back. Luckily it's the passenger side, so it's not a big deal. So that's where we're sitting on that.